Welcome to another edition of Strange New Pod. I'm your Fleet Admiral and host, Julian Brown, alongside the best bridge crew this side of the Klingon neutral zone. Praetor Giraffe is here, wondering if after making a tail, that she can make a Klingon whip as well. Maybe.
Oh, fuck no.
No,
never doing that
never again. Never again. And Captain MC is here, more than likely thrilled that Chapel slapped the shit out of Spock. Welcome back.
My turn.
Yeah, right. Your turn. Welcome back. How we doing, guys?
I'm kind of disappointed that I turned my shirt with zombie Starfleet officers that says The Walking Red on it into a pillow, because I would have loved to have worn it tonight. Oh,
that would have been great.
Yeah.
Oh, we have zombie hammer shirts.
I have it. I actually should have worn that tonight, if I was smart.
I have it too.
I like this Enterprise one from Heroes and Villains, but...
I have this one. Wait, I'm gonna show my shirt. It's look.
Nice. Yes. Yes.
Isn't it great?
It is great.
I have this one too. Okay,
so we're all wearing badass shirts tonight.
Yeah.
Clear.
Mine is Uhura Trailblazer.
Nice.
It's very cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
This week we've got zombies. We've got Federation zombies. We've got Klingon zombies. We've got zombies. What happens when Pike and M'Benga go on an off-the-books mission to find a cure for the return of Batel's Gorn issue? With Una in command of the Enterprise, how does she deal with an increasingly insubordinate Erica Ortegas? What did Spock and Batel see during that mind meld? And what do the Klingons want with M'Benga? We're going to break it all down, but first, Giraffe, we need to thank our amazing patron collective members at the Ready Room level and above, please.
Thank you, Simon Stagger, Jeff Reeve, Tallulah, Jen Stein, Tina Alexander, Joseph Porito, Kung Hui, Takako Nagumo, Fernanda Nogales, SMK, Colin Davidson, Shatterhand 2049, Jesco, Michael Graham, Emilian Travis, Magulite, Wayne Ritz, Scott Navark, Sean, Jay Howard, Melanie Uchiyama, Matt Harker, Joshua Lewis, Tara Polin, Sub 74, Ruth Parakeet, Adam Sanders, Aaron W, Colin Goli, Michael Kwan, Caitlin, Elizabeth Dean, Ching McMahon, Sedano 317, Puka Hair, Free Fry Short, Cat TP, Tripping the Read Alert over Pineapple, Sean Manning, Asher at the Bat, Chris Waterman, RHCB, Martin Simpson, Norman Buckwald, David Prime, Hildebrand, Taryn J. Robinson, Rod Greiner, Eric the Red, Trouble, Jamie Roberts, Honeyberry, Paul Taylor Pete, Brett Jones, Michelle P., Margin Walker 82, Melissa Bartel, Jesse Robbins, Kim, Chris Fenolio, Felix Dax, Kelly McKinnon, and Chief Petty Officer Snuggles. And of course, big thank you to our Badmirals and EPs who do a great job of keeping us out of Stavokor. Thank you. Thank you, Simon Steger, Chris Wetterman, Tara Pollen, Brett Jones, Dana, Matt Harker, Jim McMahon, Maggie Light, and Fuff.
Hey. Y'all freaking
we want to
rock.
go to Stavokor? Isn't it Grethor the one that we don't want to go to?
I mean, we want to go to Stavokor. I just don't think we want to go to Stavokor yet.
That's fair.
I want to say that I was at the Duras Sister Pod yesterday, and they also read your patron, and they have Chief Petty Officer Snuggles. And I want to say the same thing that I said then, that if I ever get a cat, that's going to be their name.
That's a good cat name.
That's a perfect cat name. So
it is. It is.
I didn't read the patron for so long, and there's a lot of new names that I didn't know how to
You did
read.
really well. You did really well. You did. We are going to do some very brief news. If you are watching this stream right now, obviously we are not live. That is mainly because Giraffe and I are at San Diego Comic-Con right now. So please stay tuned to our socials, to our website, anywhere that you get our content. We're going to be uploading it all week long, all weekend long. There's some really cool stuff going on. So check us out. Yeah.
Yes, give us a follow. Give us a like.
Give us a sub. I will say also, if you are watching this on Thursday, you would know that you got a new bonus episode yesterday. Giraffe and I also interviewed Awesome. Susan and Tilly Bridges, who are writing the new Star Trek Voyager Homecoming. Star Trek Voyager Homecoming comic series that's coming out in September. So you still, as of today, have a few more days to pre-order it at your local comic shop. But go check out that interview because they're awesome, and the stuff that they work on is awesome. And yeah, support writers and local artists. Go ahead.
I have to say that just after the interview, I went and DM my local comic book shop. It's called Kamikaze. They're awesome. Good job, everybody. And there is a special cover with Janeway. So if you do it right and you do it now,
I totally thought that Giraffe had IDW in her DMs. They were offering her like a special cover. I was like, get me one too. Like,
IDW, wants all my
dude.
stuff.
I do want all your stuff. I do. Any news? Any more news? MC, maybe we have a new T-shirt in the store. We don't know yet.
We don't know yet. There's a couple of ideas cooking, but maybe there'll be something up, and I'll announce that in the Discord.
Cool, awesome.
But we do have our Pike shirt that went up last week, and it is if I say so myself, a beautiful shirt with Pike in silhouette. It says "Let's explore." I think I forget what it says.
We explore. Yeah, it's a really cool shirt. Go check it out. strangerepod.bigcartel.com and a bunch of other really cool stuff that you can find there. Anything else? Am I missing anything? No? Good?
Yeah, I'll have news after. I have stuff going on in August, but I have no clue when is August right now. It's San Diego Comic-Con week.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, then let's get to the strange new loop. And we, this isn't really a challenging one, but I thought it'd be fun. If you could change this episode to have any other species take the place of the Klingons for a zombie episode, who would it be and why?
The Romulans.
Come on.
I feel we already had Vulcan and zombies in Enterprise, and I think it was good. So I would be okay with a redo, but I think Romulans would be way better. Because they will find a way to use it to do something nefarious.
I like it. All right. MC?
So my feelings on it is that I probably wouldn't have another species in it. I would probably just have it be a Starfleet thing, because that would make it scarier to just have it be like this very close quarters, have a huge away team of red shirts so that we can actually have some people turn into zombies.
I like it. Yeah, we need more red shirt deaths in the show. There's not enough at all in 3 seasons.
Oh, I need to read the new comic book, Red Shirts. Is it out?
I think it just came out or is coming out this week. Yeah. I want to read it too. Listen, if we can go any era, which I would allow, I would say it would actually be really fun to have like the Hirogen in this episode, because like, what do you do when a hunter species is being hunted by things that are going to eat your flesh? Like, I think that would be a really cool story. That's just me. I'm sure there is a live chat with our live premiere going on, so I would love to see your comments.
I hope somebody said like some species that don't have bodies.
Yeah,
like,
right.
What happens if it's like Odo or Medusans?
Or Medusan, yeah.
I don't know. Breen.
Oh, yeah, because they're kind of jelly. Yeah.
I know we're tired of them, but what would happen if you had zombies versus the Borg? Because they're both kind of like zombie-esque. Like, would they like cancel each other out?
Oh, that's a good question.
Would the Borg turn into
the zombies?
Yeah.
Into
Zorg?
Or...
Would they turn into Zorgs? Zorgs. Good answers. I like this. This is fun. I think that's it. I think we should get right to our review. It is our review of Strange New Worlds episode 303, Shuttle to Kenfori. Our order tonight is going to be Giraffe and MC, followed by myself. Well, MC was ahead of you last week, so you get to go this week.
I was last.
I know, you were dead last week. I put it into a randomizer. That's how I did it last week. This week, I'm just Giraffe, MC. Here we go. Let's talk about the cold open. The episode begins with Pike enjoying some downtime with Batel because she's all bad. better, but she's not. Pike finds Marie passed out in his quarters. The Gorn DNA is showing back up, and Spock and Benga and Chapel inform them about a Chimera blossom plant that can help Batel, but it's only found in a place that is in a Starfleet and Klingon restricted zone that was signed by some BS treaties after the war, like, happens anytime there's a war, I guess. Pike and Benga decide to go on an off-the-book mission along with some fancy flying from Erica to get them there. On their way down to Kenfori, Pike and Benga come across a Klingon warning buoy that says, "Go back or die." What do we think about the cold open and the Batel not 100% better reveal, Giraffe?
It was heavy plutium, you know?
Yes.
Oh no! There's a leak in the plutium tube. It's like that wife energy again. She's like, oh, I'm so happy. She's gonna be great, and she's gonna take a new half dead. I mean, like, you jinxed that, my man. Like, you know, so that cracked me up. It had all the, you know, forced element of like, we really need them to be on that planet. And because it's a planet surrounded by plutium, you can transport and you can fly, and it's dangerous. I'm like, everything to make them isolated. That just like, that cracked me up a little bit in the idea of this is so many yes, but. So again, it's a little bit like again, the Gorn with Batel in episode 1. You know, where it's like, oh, she's allergic to the serum. Oh no, we forgot we have transporters. I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, I was just waiting for the cold open to actually get me to the planet so I can see what is going to eat people or like kill people or like what is going to be the problem, you know, because I knew it was gonna be something like this. I like the efficiency of the Klingon buoys. I think this is great. The go back or die. You know, this is this thing that they put, there are actually signs like this when you do, I don't know if you, I used to do diving, but you had like signs where like, go further, you will die. Okay, dookie. But yeah, I feel it's just like, you know, a premise of a Star Trek episode where you can't use your fancy science, you can't use your tools, you can't use the thing. And I mean, the thing that kind of cracked me up is that at the beginning, Chimera Blossom, I thought it was a 2 weeks plant.
Oh, that's right.
So did I.
All right, because Chimera literally mean like Pike being mad at not knowing what the Chimera Blossom does. I'm
right.
like,
He apparently doesn't know his Greek mythology.
it's written on it. It's written on it. So I was like, oh, so I since the beginning I kind of knew that, oh, they're gonna fuse her with the Gorn because it's called a Chimera Blossom. So that's what it does. But I 100% was convinced it was gonna be the weird orchid that we see in 2 weeks. I was here for it, honestly. I was here for it. Yeah, it's, you know, good. Nothing is gonna work like we want it to work because we want it to be difficult or cold open.
Nice. MC?
Yeah, the only thing we're missing is Pike trying to record Batel and her going, no, you know, don't record me, and so that he can watch it sadly later when she dies.
Dead wife energy.
Wow.
Total dead wife. The beginning of the.
Are you f***ing kidding me?
I'm sorry. I love Batel, but they are telegraphing this for her so much, and I will get into it a little bit more later. And it's just, it bums me out, really, that they're going so hard on it, and I can see exactly where they're going. It leads to an interesting episode. It is very much just a setup for everything that happens on the planet. It doesn't really matter why they go to the planet, honestly, other than the fact that it does give Pike some man pain to experience while down there. But it is mostly just an ends to the means. So I liked it. I did like the Klingon warning because it is worded in such a perfect way that it could be the Klingons just saying it's like, we're going to fuck you up if you come here. Or it could also just be, hey, there's danger down here.
Yeah, it's like, we know there's zombies or people got eaten, fuck off. Or we just, like you said, might throw some photon torpedoes at you.
That was why I was texting you because again, we were pre-recording, so I didn't watch the episode with subtitles. So I'm kind of flying half blind here. But the thing that I was puzzled about is like nobody wanted this era of space, so it just like nothing in the middle. It doesn't belong to anybody, but nobody's supposed to be there. But actually, there's a planet that's hyper dangerous. And so they just like decided to have like, did they know? Did they do that on purpose? Like, I was just confused about the geopolitical aspect of what was going on around this planet.
I feel like
basically.
Klingon and Starfleet geopolitics have never made any sense, though. Like,
That is true.
We should ask John. Actually,
Yeah, right?
That's a good person
Yeah.
to answer.
yeah.
Klingon
John,
geopolitics.
let us know. Thumbs up. Were you good, MC?
Well, in terms of answering the question of did anybody know, the Klingons knew because the Klingons attacked and they're the ones who released the agent.
That's right.
But I don't know if it ever got back to Starfleet.
Oh, probably.
And I
not.
don't know if that had anything to do with
The buoy?
the actual like
with the
coordinating it off
with the treaty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very ill explained, I would say.
Yeah, I just understood that they could not agree, so it just became a no man land, no man zone or whatever.
Well, it's kind of like even though people were allowed on that planet, but what's it's called in Star Trek V, where it was supposed to be like the planet of peace, and
oh yeah,
you know,
I don't
instead,
remember the name of the planet. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I like geopolitics, you know me.
Same.
I need to know.
I like this cold open. Marie not being 100% was very predictable. I'm going to be the voice of hope. I don't think that they're going to kill her. I really don't. And I really hope I'm right. Yeah, I liked it. And we're going to talk about this more in a few minutes. I really liked the shuttlecraft ride and just getting that like brotherly bants with Pike and M'Benga. The minute the red Klingon, fuck off or die thing came up, I was really stoked because it just immediately reminded me of when the Klingons in Undiscovered Country were like, Praxis just blew up. We're fine. Don't come up here. And they giant like another flashy red sign as well. So a little callback. I loved it. It was fun. But
it also has like don't open dead inside energy.
Yeah, exactly.
But okay, question about like the joyride. Did we knew that they were so close? Or
we
is the
did. We
first
did
time?
from like the pilot and a few other mentions. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's been a while since they
have,
brought it
because
up.
they didn't do a lot in season 2. But yeah, I liked that. And I thought that, again, like we talked about this last week, I think, or 2 weeks ago now, because we also did a review of 302. I think that they just really upped their game with the visual effects this season. Like everything looks so good. And I was really impressed by that. Let's go to the A plot, which is don't say the Z word. Early on, the episode gives us something we've really wanted, at least I've really wanted, more of that buddy cop, like brotherly relationship between Pike and M'Benga, both on the shuttle and then on the planet, looking for the Chimera plant. What do we think about this episode fleshing out their relationship a little bit more? Jeff?
Well, I didn't remember they had a relationship because I've been so force-fed like Spock's relationship about everything that I forgot other people had even relationship. That's why I was like, wait, did we know that we're close? Like, I was so confused. Also, why I was confused is that we know that Pike didn't do the Klingon War, but that M'Benga did. So I'm like, since like I don't understand that chronology.
They had like done like studies with each other like back and forth. He mentions it at the pilot.
So I was like, hey, cool, they're buddies. It's the first time I remember that. So I was here about it. Made me think about why M'Benga left Starfleet. I mean, he doesn't leave Starfleet, but he leaves the Enterprise at least. And he's not here during TOS. I mean, he's here, but he's not
He's not the
CMO,
CMO, yeah.
of the Enterprise. And I'm wondering if like the accident that Pike is gonna go through and his role into trying to, not have him in the beep beep chair and all this and how it's gonna affect him. So that made me think about it. I like having other people than Spock do anything at this point, so I was really into it, honestly. I like Mbenga a lot. I like Mbenga doing science, but I don't think I'm gonna get that so much. So I'm happy that Mbenga is doing anything. I'm here for it.
Nice.
If we can not do murder too much, that'd be great. But
Yeah.
beggars can be choosers, apparently. So I'm like, yeah, okay, away team, let's go.
Nice. MC, what about you?
Giraffe, you've now given me the wonderful headcanon that the reason why Mbenga doesn't appear on the Enterprise until season 2 of TOS is because he was off taking care of Pike while he was in the beep beep chair. And then after Pike went off to Talos 4, he came back. I liked this scene. I too had kind of forgotten that they were buddies, but this does very much establish them. It feels easy.
It does.
I felt they had an almost Cisco and Jadzia way of communicating with each other, which I really love. It is such a nice friendship. The one thing I can't fucking stand from it is Pike randomly saying, "What about this Christine and Corby thing?" It came out of nowhere. It led nowhere. It was just there. And I was just like, I feel like Pike would not care.
I agree. I agree. The question was weirdly came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I imagine Pike going to like the med bay and like seeing like Christine and she leaves, and then he asked. That would make sense. But like, why are you thinking about the nurse and who she's dating in the way to it's weird small talk.
Yeah, it comes up randomly. The only good thing that comes out of it is that we do find out more about Mbenga's personal life because we find out he's been married 4 times.
Yeah, dude's had a rough go of it.
He believes in love.
He does believe in love. He believes in love. I really loved their bands. The Spock and Corby thing, sure. A little forced because they want to keep making
Chapel
that
and Corby.
Who'd
if
I
it
say?
was Spock and Corby, I might.
That would be interesting. See, we're trying to get the gay into Strange New Worlds by any means necessary. The Chapel and Corby thing. I mean, it is what it is, but it was just good bands all the way around, and I just it's finally good to see these two doing something not on the Enterprise in civies. And like Giraffe said, it's a cool away mission. So yeah, I really loved seeing this. Meanwhile, things are not, I wrote not well. I should have really wrote things are not what they seem, but not well also works, I feel. On Kenfori, they read no life signs of any kind where they should be. This planet should probably be teeming with life. But they find a Klingon corpse. Its skeleton just picked absolutely clean. They go into the facility and find the Blossom and start hearing something. But before they can go looking, a Klingon scout destroys their shuttle and the Klingons enter the facility. Thoughts on the beginnings of a good old zombie romp?
Again, so much plutonium in the air.
So much.
We can barely breathe.
That's the moss.
First of all, how busted are those tricorders that there is no life sign? Not even insects. Well, there is a lot of plants, and there are flowers. So I have so many questions how there's no life signs. Explain to me. Okay, it's a strange new world. Okay, whatever. Plants can reproduce with no pollinizer, but that's okay. People are gonna come at me, but this is the kind of thing I think when I watch the episode and they're like, "There's no life sign," and they say it so many times. I'm like, there can't be no life sign. There must be worms in the dirt. There must be something. But the tricorder can pick up a dead corpse, but not corpse actually moving. So it only picks up living things that are only living like humans, but if it's a strange new species that the tricorder has not, that doesn't work. If it's cold-blooded, doesn't work. I have so many questions that I know are irrelevant to the plot of the episode, but this is the kind of shit I think about when I watch Star Trek. I'm like, what do you mean no life sign? When Lower Decks has an episode where Tandy literally stops everything because she thinks she picked up a life sign in the dirt, and you're like, okay,
well, to be fair, a few hundred years later, the tricorders are a lot better.
Okay, so busted tricorder for sure. In a planet teeming with a jungle, no life. But I guess it makes sense. It just like the whole thing. I was just like, okay, just give me the monster. Like, just go ahead, because like there's so many things that it's just waiting for it to happen. I thought the corpse looked cool. That's the thing. That's a cool looking skeleton. And then same for the facilities. Like the decor were very cool. They're practical decors, I think, like in the lab.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, and I like the work with like all the jungle thingy and that, and like it's classic kind of like 60s horror. Like I heard a noise. It was giving a little bit like the scene in Jurassic Park with the raptors in the kitchen.
Oh yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, 100%.
So nothing I have not seen 17,000 times, but I was like, I was waiting for the overshoot to drop. I don't want it over. So yeah, I thought it was cool. I didn't like the fact that they're not really interested in the facilities until they have to. Like, I'm like, that would be the first thing I would do, is like open the log. So like in every video games, you have like the scientists being like, oh, they're upon us, like Weavers. That was what I was expecting.
It's like reading all the notes in Resident Evil 2.
1000% with that guy who's like, oh, we're fucking up with a virus and we think it's a great idea.
Oh my God, what's that?
Oh no! So it was giving Resident Evil vibe, really. I was like, read the notes on the thing. What are you doing? I really like that Mbenga took precaution before touching the blossom, because that's another thing that always like triggers me into the episodes where they're just like eating random thing on a planet they've never been. I'm like, how do you know you're not allergic to that? Like, what? So I like that it was like trying to not touch the thing. Are we talking about the conversation they're having about the Chimera Blossom? It's later. It's later.
That's a little later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm like, for me, the episode has still not started at that point. I'm still waiting. So
yeah. Fair. MC?
Yeah, this is build up, but it's good build up. It was creepy, but it's not like it just jumps out at you right away. It just kind of, slowly builds, and you see like this creepy lab, which, really, is there any kind of other abandoned lab that they all have to be creepy? And the scene with the Klingon scouts was really well done. Them looking out the window, and it felt very cowboy. So I liked seeing them, having the little quip about, do they know we're here? And it's like, oh, they know we're here.
Yeah.
So the skeleton did look really, really good. And I agree with Giraffe. I think about this kind of stuff a lot when they say it's like there's no life forms there. And I'm like, wait, are you sure that the tricorder's not picking up any life signs? Because I think about like on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, when the Initiative is able to tell the difference between a human and a vampire by reading like the thermals. It's like, why can't the tricorder pick up movement? And it's like, okay, especially in a universe where there is so many different types of species, not all of them are going to have like the same type of heartbeat or whatever, that they should, because these things aren't, we don't say the Z word, and I guess they are dead, but they're reanimated by moss. So
well, they're like Last of Us zombies, like fungal zombies. I will play devil's advocate here for a second, because even though it's not a tricorder, I feel like this is just like a zombie movie trope where you don't know they're there until it's too late, right? Like a great example of that, I think it's episode 2 of this past season, of Last of Us, and I actually don't think this was in the game, but they don't know they're there until like because they're just fucking hibernating in the snow, right? Like no one knows they're there until they literally rise up out of the snow.
Yeah.
So
I think like one of the thing about like there's no life form was like my problem is that once I watched the whole episode, I was like, oh, they in passing explain that they cannibalize everything alive,
right,
because that's how the moths function. So basically, they cannibalize everything alive on the planet, not the plants, because Star Trek has decided that plants are not alive. But they cannibalize every animal life form, basically. And so that's why there's no life form. But the thing is that Mbenga is a scientist, right? You arrive in a planet where there's a jungle, like literal jungle, right? And there's no life form, which should not be. And they should have added like something that explain like, you know, this is unusual. There's something wrong because there should be something alive. It's like something has eaten everything. You know what I mean? Because I think that's that link that was missing in my like scientifically watching the episode brain. And then when I watched the whole thing, I was like, oh, they were insisting so much about this at the beginning because basically the zombies can like ate everything on the planet, which makes it scarier, right?
Yeah.
But it was just like not clear until I don't know. There was like some like link missing for me. But again, that's because that's the kind of shit I think about when I watch Star Trek. It's fine if you don't.
no, it's absolutely like
But
not
I
the
do.
way that I do. But hey,
I
that's
think about it,
awesome.
too.
That's awesome that you do. You know, an interesting thing, and I want to get your take on this. We're going to be on this subject forever because I think it's actually cool. Talking about there not being any life and maybe like explaining it away. Do you think that there was at some point in that area, because the tricorder is not going to read the whole planet, right? But it'd be interesting if at least the insectoid life on the planet knew something was really fucked up, and they what do you call it? They could like what's the word I'm looking for?
Swarm.
They could form and they can relocate.
Swarm.
Like
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, swarm and go away. Do you think that's like a possibility of what happened? Like they sensed something was fucked up?
Yeah, I mean, like, or it's like was so crazy that those zombies, but they still stayed in the same facilities. They don't seem to be anywhere outside of the facilities. So that's also the thing that was like, I was like, wait, what? Because if there's no life form at all on the planet, that means that the zombies just went around the whole planet, ate everything, and then just went back to the nest. And also, they don't seem to be able to zombify other things. So there's just set number of like undead that are just the people that were here when the spore were released, which means that is that enough to eat the whole life on the planet? You know, it's like if they had not said anything, if they not had said like 17 times, there's no life on the planet, I would not even be thinking.
Right.
But now they made me. They made me.
Now I'm thinking of Marvel Zombies, where the Marvel Zombies literally eat the entire universe.
Yes, exactly. That's where I was going too. I was like, so what then? So then all the flora is gonna die, and then the moss too, because there's gonna be, you know, that's how that's how my brain functions.
Totally fair. I really like this. What I really liked was a few things about like where my mind goes is like keeping with like the canon that like New Trek is established, like with Discovery and Strange New Worlds, right? It was really cool when they're looking out the window and that Klingon shuttle comes and blows it up, and it's a Klingon shuttle from Discovery. They didn't change up like the design. That was really cool. Like MC said, like it's just like that funny banter. Like Mbenga, or I should say Anson and Babs have like really great chemistry with each other. So those little quips go a long way. I also have to say when the Klingons entered the room, I loved that they were immediately speaking Klingon. They weren't doing like fucking English speaking Klingons. It was Klingon. It was good Klingon. And I'm going to give so much props to Nami right now because the music that she's come up with for the Klingons this season is absolutely, and she used it a little bit last season, but not to this extent, is so good. It's like a hybrid of TNG, TOS, and the Undiscovered Country. And it just really fits this style of Klingon. So I loved when they entered the room and were like, we're about to, you know, have an honorable day. I thought that was
I like that their uniforms were like kind of TNG inspired, but like there was some TOS
Yeah, right.
makeup going on, like the mustache, where
Yeah.
it was very TOS Klingon. Yeah.
No, it was really good. So no, I really enjoyed the build up to the zombies. Let's talk about the zombies because there's a whole firefight because Pike and Benga are cornered and the Klingons are going to come get them. And right as like the Klingons are maybe going to just kill Pike and Benga, the zombies come out. We get them. Gene has reminded us that we've had zombies in both Lower Decks, and Giraffe has mentioned in Enterprise as well. But finally in New Trek, in live action New Trek. Chat just all about your thoughts about the zombies overall, from them here all the way up to being on the roof. Giraffe.
It's gonna come as a surprise, but I do not like zombie movies.
Fair.
I don't have a problem with them. Like, I think they're cool. Like, you know, they're fine. But they stress me the fuck out. So I can't watch zombie movies because like I think the only zombie movie I watch in a row is Shaun of the Dead. That gives you the everything you need to know. But they just stress me a lot. I hate the swarm effect. I hate the idea of a crowd chasing. I triggers me a lot. So I was like, fuck zombies. But there are a few things that I need to know before watching a zombie movie. Is like, are those fast zombies or slow zombies? This is a very important component of like zombie lore. These one I had no clue. They're just like here dormant until somebody. I think they're very The Last of Us.
Very
They
Last
very
of Us.
much are.
Very Last of Us.
I played the video game, but I didn't watch the show.
Which I wonder was a little bit purposeful since that show is doing so well. They're like, hey, let's do that.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I'm like, it's kind of like, oh, it's a moss.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you just avoided mushroom by like a
Mhm.
millimeter. I also like, I thought they looked very cool. Like the makeup, the effects, and like the costuming and all that. Like, they looked awesome. They looked very good. But then again, I have so many questions when things happen like that. Like they read the log from the scientists, and like in one page they figure out everything that has happened. And I like the Mbega is just like, oh no, it's too long ago. The component would have gone away. I was like, how do you know that? Like, if somebody's remotely like coughing in a room, I'm like, even 2 hours later, and they're like super chill about it. I felt that if there had been more of a component of like, oh, maybe like they're not worried about being infected,
Mhm.
which is weird because it's like 101 zombie movie thing, right? So when they're like just next to them, I feel that especially when they bite a Klingon, there's zombie and somebody gets beaten, my first reaction is like to shoot that motherfucker. I'm like, you're out. I
Mhm.
don't need one more guy. They just leave the guy being eaten alive and they just run away, which fair. I really like Pike going like, run. Yeah, because nobody had figured that out. Like, they're just like here and looking. I was like, when are you gonna start running? So I feel that Star Trek doesn't really know how to do zombies. And there were like some key component that was kind of missing to be classic zombie movies. And it was not even like unclassic zombie. It was just like classic zombie with pieces missing, which is very zombie-esque if you're missing an arm or two, you know. But yeah, I don't know. It left me with more question than anything because I'm always interested in the science of the zombies, you know. And The Last of Us does that very well because you see the pandemic, you see like how people are infected, and you know there's a lot of information.
Well,
going
right.
with,
It
like,
will benefit of having a whole series as well.
yeah, the cordyceps
Yeah.
and so on, and the video games and so
Yeah.
on, you know. But I was like, maybe a sentence or two about like maybe being afraid of being, you know, what if you bring that on the ship? And Enterprise does that very well because there's always that question of them bringing that back and how it happened. And also the anxiety of T'Pol when she sees like the Vulcan zombies wanting like to save them. She knows some of those people. I felt that the interesting part was when Mbenga says, don't use that word. First, I thought it was going to be something cultural because, you know, zombies are part of like, a part of a culture and a ritual and so on. So I thought it was gonna go this way, but then he goes like, "Those are Starfleet scientists." They were like Federation scientists. And I was like, "Oh, yeah, there were people, you know, like."
It's a
that's
little
good-
thing, but it's a really good moment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I feel like that was a good little thing, but like I would have maybe added like one or two little things because I'm a curious bitch and I want to know more. But fair. I like when they start running. Also, can I add that I play way too many video games because when they entered that room with the tall grass, I was like, "There's something in the tall
Oh,
grass."
100%. Yeah. I mean, that's video games or movies.
101.
Yeah, like
You know, you enter and like the light is flickering. And there's like, I'm like, nah.
yeah,
and I
just don't
think,
go in.
No.
I think there's a line where they say, like, I'm sure the other way looked as
Yeah,
bad.
it
and
did,
I'm
it
like,
did. Yeah.
Nuh-uh. So I think, yeah, the decor was very cool, the zombie looking, but I felt like there was a little bit of lore building that would have satisfied me, but it was fun.
Nice.
The poor Klingon guy being eaten.
Oh my
alive.
God, it was so good though.
Fucking
It was
horrible.
so good though. Horrible but great. MC.
Okay, so I think the amount of Lisa Frankenstein fanfic on my account will show that I have what most people would call an unhealthy relationship with zombies.
So we're the opposite. Okay, that's good.
So I was very excited about this episode. I had actually forgotten that there was a zombie episode in Enterprise. I did remember that there was a zombie episode in Lower Decks, though, but I was very excited about this. And like Giraffe, I did feel like there were holes in this. And I think a large part of that comes from this episode has a lot going on.
Yes, there's
It
like
does.
5 plots.
Yeah, and a lot of it does work very well. Like I do think, and we'll talk about this later, but Ortegas' plot works very well with everything. And the actual Klingon plot with Mbenga, I think, works very well.
Agreed.
But the zombie plot, I would actually not even really call it a zombie plot. It is zombie set dressing because they don't really do much.
No, they absolutely don't. I completely agree with you there. They're fucking cool. Like I thought that they were
Yeah.
great and they were cool.
Yeah.
But no, it is not conductive to the plot at all.
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
that's what I was trying to say. They look
Yeah.
cool, but this
Yeah.
is not a plot. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they look amazing, and I like the idea of it. I did clock it as Last of Us, like immediately. I was like, oh, moss. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But that's fine because it's not mushrooms. I mean, also, Discovery already covered mushrooms pretty damn well. So, though I suppose they also had some mushroom zombies on Discovery too.
They did.
When did they have mushroom zombies?
Well,
on Discovery?
like kind of. Go ahead, MC.
Culber is kind of a mushroom zombie.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah.
It's pretty
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so I wanted more because I always want more zombies. And I thought I would have liked to have had an entire episode just about the zombies and making it really claustrophobic and the
I would have
zombies coming
died.
after
I
them.
would fucking die.
And like Giraffe said, having them actually be worried that they might have been infected, because the thing is, it's like if they were transported back, the biofilters would have taken care of that, but they were on a shuttle. So
Yeah.
there could have been like the idea of, oh, we can't go back because if we go in the shuttle, we're going to immediately infect the ship. And I think that would have been really cool. But that's not what they wanted to do. And that's fine. It's just disappointing for me as somebody who's a zombie lover.
Did you think I'm gonna add a question here in the middle just for MC, but when they said that there was a colonies that were like studying spores and that they were like having crops that were special, I immediately thought of the TOS episode with the sex spores.
Yeah.
where because that's also colonists living on the planet that are supposed to be dead but are not dead. Now, technically zombies.
They are technically
By the way.
zombies. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Horny
dead, but
zombies.
undead.
Horny zombies.
Yeah, horny
Yeah.
zombies.
It's a
But
great episode.
that kind of made me think. What's the name of that episode?
This Side of Paradise?
Is
I
it
believe
this
that's
one?
right.
I always there's two with the word paradise, and one is horrible and one is good.
Yeah.
I think it is this side of paradise.
With Layla Kalomi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one. Yeah, that made me think also like it was kind of a like
Yeah.
a little bit around that plot too.
Yeah, except those plants are artichokes.
They are.
They really are.
1000% are.
That's
Yeah.
funny. It's really funny where everybody lies on the zombie spectrum because I am literally in the middle of both of you. So I do enjoy zombie content, but I am also a little bit like, this is the kind of zombie content I like, and this is the zombie content I don't like. I don't like fast zombies. They scare the fuck out of me. Like, I don't want to go see 28 Years Later, even though I hear it's really
Same.
good. But, like, I like slow zombies, and I will tolerate The Last of Us because the acting in it is so fucking good. But they're fast and scary as hell, too, and they make that weird clicking noise. These zombies also made, yeah, I know. These zombies were what I needed. They made the clicking noises, but they were slow and they were a little stupid and they just like ate flesh. So they were fucking cool to me. I don't need, here's why I don't want a true zombie episode of Star Trek, because unless their phasers are malfunctioning, it defeats the purpose because they could just fucking disintegrate them, right? Like, so it kind of defeats the purpose, in my opinion, to do a full on zombie episode. But doing this way in like with a small group of people worked. I love that, like, immediately that one zombie like chomps on the Klingon, and the Klingon commander whose name I have down here somewhere doesn't even hesitate and like just disrupts him. It's great. The stuff on the roof is great because I like when like they're at a barrier and they're gonna eventually come through. They were a lot of fun. These are zombies I can tolerate, but man, fast, like 28 Years Later style zombies, they freak me the fuck out. So I'm glad that it wasn't quite that level. I know we kind of already talked about this, and if we want to move on, we can, but I just want to ask real quick, what did you think about the super crop, this hybrid super crop being the reason for the Z words and like the moss, I guess, that stemmed from that? Was it fun? Trek technobabble? Was it too easy? What do you think?
So my problem is that it was nothing.
Right.
That's my problem. Or you make it a link to something in Star Trek. Like we said, we know that Layla Kalomi in this side of paradise works on a planet that has like weird spores that keeps them alive. Or you make it I don't know, a criticism of GMO plants and like, bioengineering that, by the way, if we didn't have bioengineering, we could not sustain that many fucking humans all around. So I don't know. Like the danger of bioengineering, for example. But I didn't know what it was. I was like, what's the point of this? So the good scientists were experimenting with something fucked up, but then the Klingons that don't know anything and just like shoot everything. We know they have Klingon scientists. You know that Klingons would be interested in this like thing. Just blew up everything, and now everybody's dead. And now I was just like, what's the point of it? Like, that's where there's like too much information that like, or you give me all the information or you give me none. Because right now I'm like, so what do I do with this? Like, are we? Maybe it's not supposed to do anything. I don't know, but it's an information you've given me, so now I'm thinking about it. But also, it's a spore that these guys are covered in moss that technically should still be doing spores, but they're not infectious. I'm like, I don't understand. Oh, because it was special agent that like they had their I don't know what to do. It's like they're giving me too much information, so now I have too many questions, but not enough to like satiate me. So I don't know. I don't know. Also, I may add that like they're like, oh, these could like feed so many colonists. Starfleet barely checks on their colonists. How are you gonna feed them? Like, like second contact? Who?
Not in this era of Star Trek either.
But that's interesting because like I read a whole essay about agriculture in Star Trek um universe, because why not? That's the kind of thing I'm interested in again. But there is a lot of question. Like we know that the Earth has way less population than now. So also like, and they restored the environment on the planet. Like they tell you that on Strange New World that they like went and fixed up the
I
environment.
think
after World War
Enterprise
III.
even tells you that, like with the Vulcans'
So-
help, right? Yeah.
We don't have extensive crop agriculture anymore, or it's made on like star basis, God knows what. And then they're like, apparently feeding colonists is a problem. It's a problem enough that they have people working on like remote planet trying to bioengineer spores so the crops can eat everything, like basically tribal crop, like can
Right.
eat everything around it and go dormant. It's like terrifying. It's really scary. And I'm just like, how much of a problem is this that there is all that, but then it never gets fixed? Like I have so many questions in the internal geopolitics and just agriculture and feeding people around this. So how do Vulcan do? They don't have. Also, everybody has replicators. Why do you need crops? I don't understand. I don't understand, Julian. So I don't know what to do with this. If you have a replicator, why are you worrying about crops?
Depends on like, I think, don't they need like industrial replicators, and like weren't industrial replicators not a thing yet? I honestly don't know the answer to that.
I don't
I
know.
thought
maybe-
industrial replicators were a thing before other replicators.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. I
'Cause
thought
they
they were
had
like a
no-
TNG era thing.
Yeah.
We know from Q&A that Una is actually is the one that created the matrix in the
newer
replicators that like makes different taste or something. So
Yeah.
they have food replicator. So I don't know. Again, it's Star Trek forgetting its own lore and like making maybe something about feeding people on Earth now and how it's important to have crops. But it was not enough fleshed out. So I just don't know what to do with it. I'm confused by that zombie plot in general.
Fair. MC?
So I pretty much nothinged the whole explanation, other than the fact that I agree with Giraffe that having the Klingons be the ones responsible for letting the moss spores out is kind of shitty. It could have just been a lab accident. I would have kind of preferred if they had done that. But now Giraffe has put a bunch of thoughts into my head about all of this stuff. And
I have questions.
my brain is going just a mile a minute now. And I'm wondering if it has to do with terraforming planets that do not sustain life very well, because we have seen colonies try to set themselves up there and they have had problems. And I think even like in, what is it, Those Old Scientists, they were delivering stuff to colonists.
Yes.
So it is something that has come up before. And then I also thought about Firefly, how they have all of those planets on the rim that aren't very well set up, specifically because they haven't quite been touched well by the core worlds. And that's kind of a similar thing that I think the Federation is trying to do better than a complete other show. But this is just how my brain works, and I'm trying to explain some of what they're doing. Because I do think their replicators are a thing at this point in time, but I don't think they're as prominent as they are in TNG. They're not as ubiquitous is probably the right word.
Well, yeah,
to
like
use.
remember how much time, like, of a hard time they had last season, like trying to fucking make it Ractogeno.
Yeah. So I think they're still in the food synthesizer phase where it does actually still use like actual food products and just like kind of creates it, because there is, to bring up TOS, Kirk bitching in Charlie X about not having any turkeys to serve for Thanksgiving,
That's
which
right.
apparently
That's true.
Thanksgiving survives.
Yeah.
I'll never get over that. But yeah, so That's my very long answer to say I didn't really think about the explanation all that much.
Yeah, and
I thought too much about it.
I'm with MC. I didn't think a thing about it. I was like, okay, cool, sure, that works. Like that's fine. But again, I don't really like watch the show to think about those things. So, it was just like, okay, cool, Moss, Klingons.
I love thinking about
zombies.
it.
Yeah.
And that's why Giraffe is just like sent me just going over the deep
Sent
end
you,
now.
yeah.
Dude, I read a whole essay about agriculture in Star Trek.
Please send
Again,
it to me.
I don't know where it is anymore, but I have it somewhere. I will. It was about how in '09, when the Enterprise like rises, it couldn't be like corn like this because basically extensive corn culture cannot exist in the future that Star Trek is telling us about. And there were a lot of reasons. And the person is like an agriculture like engineer or something. I don't know what you call that in English. It was really interesting.
Wait, what? Like the Enterprise rising? Like
You know, like in '09 when you have like is it in '09 in the no, yeah, in '09 when he escapes on the motorcycle, I think, and then there was like one of the trailer for '09 where you had like
are you talking about the Enterprise being built like in Iowa? Oh, okay.
Yeah. And Iowa has like all these cornfields.
Oh, okay.
Cornfields, yeah. How that's impossible in the Star Trek future because of the number of population, the water restriction, and all this and all that and all that. And it was really interesting.
Nice.
That sounds exactly like something I want to read.
Not me. You guys have fun. Let's talk about the reveal of the Chimera Blossom, which Giraffe already pointed out, like Chimera, duh. Actually hybridizes Marie's DNA with the Gorn DNA that's still inside of her. And once again, in my opinion, a really great acting job from Anson being kind of like distraught and like arguably, I think that was kind of the point, a bit of an asshole about the situation. Giraffe, what do you think about this?
I don't know. I'm like, first of all, that's more crazy science. I don't know any of this is ethical. And like, also, I think it's a good parallel. Okay, they are in a facility where literally there are undead people because they were fucking around with the local flora to do something that turned very, very fucking wrong, right? And he didn't even kill those poor people, just made them undead. We don't even know if they're still sentient. We don't know anything, right? And they're like, you know what? We're gonna do the exact same fucking thing, but because we're smarter, it's gonna be better. And I'm like, oh yeah, you're gonna hybridize a woman with a Gorn? That's gonna go great, my man. Like, look around you. Everything is pointing out towards, yes, this is a great idea. So my problem is that the episode was perfectly built to have a come to Jesus kind of, man versus nature, which is one of the great plot that you have, in sci-fi with like, I'm measuring myself to against nature, and basically you learn that nature can fuck you up and you should maybe do it with a lot of cautions. And that's why we have ethical boards and all this. But these guys, like, it never touches them. Like, Mbenga is like being very careful about touching the blossom. Then they see what happened, and they still don't have the actual conversation that would match their episode. There's a problem with the conversation because it's centered around themselves and not around the act or around Batel. And I think it would have been more interesting if they had been questioning the actual the actual ethic of it. And Pike is kind of touching to this, but it's mostly, why didn't you ask me? Like, shut the fuck up. That's not the main problem here. They're gonna hybridize your woman with a Gorn.
Well, no, I think that's what he meant though. He would have like said no to it because it is a crazy fucking idea.
But
right?
what he says is like, you should have asked me. And I'm like, no, they should not have asked you because HIPAA, first of all, like, you have nothing to say about what the fuck she's doing, okay? But more like raise the question of like, yo, my man, Mbenga, look around you. You're not doing this to somebody on my ship. This is a crazy fucking idea. It's not the problem that they didn't ask you. That's the problem that you didn't have anything to say about it. It's a problem that it's unethical and it's dangerous. And also, if it turns wrong, like it literally turned wrong around you, your whole crew is gone. What are you? And I miss the fact, like, I like that Mbenga is like telling him it's not your problem and you should not be, But he angles it around, you should not know about it because you're dating Batel. I think he should know about it as the captain of the Enterprise, and with his CMO doing like literally like mad science in the med bay. And I think that that conversation would have been super interesting to me, as like if it was more around, this is a crazy stupid idea, look around you. And I don't think it reaches that point in the conversation. I don't think they ever go like, hey, there are literally undead people eating Klingons right now. You want to do that with a Gorn? This is insane. And again, the episode kind of points towards that a lot. And I know we're going to mostly spoke about the Cloak of War. It was my same problem with the Cloak of War. It's like they don't go into the actual fucking conversation. And I'm like, it's just left to your interpretation of like what is going on. And I think that it could have been a good episode of like ethics in science. And Star Trek does very well those episodes. And I usually very like those episodes. But they kind of don't go there. Also, like, again, why are they discussing this poor woman fate here and there? My main problem with that conversation I was texting you is more that they're yelling in a place full of zombies, having a full ass conversation with like literally things that are still digesting a live Klingon over there. And I'm just like, stop fucking talking, stop talking, take the thing and go away. Like, find the communication error. What are you doing? That stressed me out. That stressed me out a lot. But yeah, I think this episode almost goes to very interesting conversation to me, but like kind of shies away from it, or like just doesn't go there because they expect you to just do the work by yourself. I don't know.
All right. MC?
I did think that the whole Pike not realizing what the Chimera Blossom was going to do was just kind of shake my head and roll my eyes and be like, okay, Pike, I'm going to give you a break because you're under a lot of stress.
And you don't know Greek, apparently, so that's fine.
Yeah. But yeah, it was kind of ridiculous that it took him so long to figure it out. But Anson did a fantastic job with the acting in this scene. I can totally understand where he's coming from emotionally. I feel, again, a lot of the same ways that Giraffe does, that I do think that there is a lot of ethical issues involved in this that I think trumps him being left out of the decision. Because also, like, the thing is, he is not Patel's husband. He and even in that case, he doesn't need to be informed of the treatment. Batel knew, and we'll end up talking about that more, I think, in a little bit when we actually talk about Patel's plot. But she is the one that makes the decisions about her treatment. So he should not receive this information as a friend of Mbenga. He should only receive it as the captain of the ship where this could potentially cause problems. Because, yeah, it very much could, because the Chimera Blossom is clearly also involved in this whole zombie thing.
Is it though? Did they establish that the Chimera Blossom wasn't it a separate plant from what they were doing? Because I didn't get the impression that it was.
Yeah.
It was a separate plant, but the thing is, the Chimera Blossom is all over the lab, and the very fact that the zombies are made from a hybridization of moss
good point.
and people.
Yep.
And
So
I think he says that they were working on it in the lab, but not necessarily like for the crop.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's one of the things they didn't say, but I just was like, this is just the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel with like this whole hybridizing her with a Gorn, I hate bringing this up, but it does start. I know they're trying to save her life, but it starts to get into the idea of genetic modification, which is something that is apparently a hot button issue in Star Trek. It was big enough that they had a whole court case about it last year. So I would think that there would be actual legal issues with what Mbenga is doing.
I didn't think about that. Yeah, that's actually a really good point. I have different feelings on this. I thought Anson was absolutely fucking incredible. I think that he was being selfish, being like asking for the information. I think when we talk about the ethics of it, I think the ethics change if Marie is not privy to the information of what exactly this is going to do to her. From everything I understood, Spock and Mbenga were like, this is what it's going to do to you. Do you want to go through with this? She just gave a hard yes. So I get that. Ethically, should Pike know? Here's the thing.
I think yes.
Well, yes. And as her boyfriend? No, because of what you said, HIPAA. The thing is, though, he still should have been informed 100% before they even left. As the captain of the starship, because even though she's not his husband or his wife, he right now in that situation is her commanding officer and the commanding officer of that ship. And his job is to keep that ship and its crew safe. And not having that information when you're maybe going to make someone into something that could be a threat to the ship, he absolutely should have been informed. So I get him being pissed off and I get him being upset. So, was he still a bit of a dick and selfish about the entire situation? Yeah, because he is looking at it from kind of the boyfriend point of view. But I liked it. Like I thought it was really, really well done.
For all we know, she could turn into Doc Connors by the next
right.
episode.
She's gonna be the lizard, right? Like,
but don't you think it was like a kind of a stock difference than in season episode 1? You know, it was like so like not like trusting the medical group, like trusting Spock
right.
and,
I think he's emotionally compromised. Yeah, I think he's emotionally compromised because he thought he got his girlfriend back, and all of a sudden, like, she's not okay, and she's got like, I think, doesn't he say days or even like hours
2 days
left?
says.
Yeah,
2 days.
So I get it. Like I get it.
Yeah. I'd be more scared about having a Gorn on board.
Oh, 100%. But no, that's what I'm trying to say. I think he was also aware of that. I was like, why the fuck was I informed about this? Like, do you not remember what we've just gone through? Like, this is, yeah. So, let's go back to the Klingons. It's revealed at the end of the episode that the Klingons, specifically their leader, is hunting them because Mbenga killed Dakra, who is the father of the leader, Bithra. She thinks he's a traitor, her dad, Dakra, and her family, this is a very like Worf-ish story, suffered discommodation because of that, because he became a Federation ambassador. She thinks that if she kills Mbenga, that the Klingon Empire will restore her family's house and honor. Unfortunately, the zombies cut their fight to the death short, but she does die an honorable death, holding them off while Pike and Mbenga escape. What did we think about that reveal, Giraffe?
Okay, so I like the fact that it was not simple, that it was not just like, you killed my father, prepare to die. Because I thought I was going to do that. I like that it actually gave me a reason about the Clock of War, that the guy was an actual Starfleet Federation, helper, and that Mbenga just straight up murdered him. So I like that because I was like, that's a part where I thought that it was that was a point that should have been cleared up in the episode, because a lot of people was like, he's right, he's wrong. And I'm like, I don't think it's right to just murder somebody like that, like in general. So I think that it clears that up and also makes it something wrong. But that she has all these like legal thing, like if I kill you, then this and that. I thought it was interesting. My problem is that when we're talking about Worf, for example, Mr. Woof, there is like so many episodes, and you have the time to actually like go through the emotion and the issues and all how important it is for Worf, for Duras, for etc., right? Here it's like she's literally 10 minutes in, and then she dies, and I'm like, I would have liked that plot to be a thing for like,
okay, yeah.
Like I liked her. I thought she was.
I thought she was great.
Like,
yeah.
And imagine if Laurel had just died in one episode in Discovery, for example. I'm like, you introduce an interesting arc, like a complex character, a thing, like because she could have had. Does she what if that doesn't work? You know, what if she actually doesn't become like go back to the Empire? What if they actually manage to turn her to the Federation, etc., etc., etc.? You know, like a cool character. But now you have a super cool woman Klingon character, and as you know, women Klingon must die. They always get fucking murdered right away. So yeah, I was disappointed that she just died there. I thought it was not as badass as what I expected, and also I thought that, well, they get like transported, so maybe she makes it. I'm like,
I think she's pretty dead. I don't know.
no,
I think she's
come
pretty
on.
dead.
I'm like, when there was the hand, like, I was like, come on, fight, girl. I
You
don't
never know.
I-
Hey, you never know.
Her shuttle is still there.
She's a badass. That's a good point. Her shuttle still is there.
The shuttle is still there. That's why when I was like, oh, they're gonna leave with the shuttle, but then they got transported. So I was like, oh, the shuttle is still there. And Klingons kind of badass. Like, look at
Yeah,
Worf,
they
he
have all
got,
those
like,
redundancies.
Yeah, but he got like stabbed in the heart, but he was fine. Though he was taken out by a barrel. You never know.
Dude, you can never trust a barrel.
You don't know. So I'm like, maybe she made it out. And I hope so. Well, we're never gonna see her again because there's only 10 episodes, right?
No,
And
but
we
you
don't
could
care,
dream.
but-
You could dream. She's okay.
but
Beatrice
I
alive.
feel, yeah. I feel that Strange New World is just burying a bunch of plot of season 2 during that first episode. This first episode of season 3, they're just literally going one after one and being gone. Chappelle,
Spock, broken up.
gone. Cloak of War, gone. They're just going one after the other and just like burying their like past plots. Because I think that if she had continued like having Mbenga having these sort of Damocles, like that, like constant, like, oh, the Klingon are after me, that could have been interesting. I think could have add something. But yeah, I thought she looked badass.
Fucking awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
MC?
She looked amazing and I liked her a lot. I wish she didn't die, except I really did like Joseph at the very end giving her that moment of respect where he's telling her that, may you get to Stovacor or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It was really nice because we know Mbenga hates Klingons, and he said that in this, he's like, I murdered him and I would do it again. That is something I'm not too crazy about.
Redemption, growth. Why?
Yeah. Well,
Really?
it's nice to have an answer as to what happened in Under the Cloak of War. I don't really know if Mbenga has really grown that much from that experience. I mean, I guess Pike does kind of, what do I want to say? Pike
He kind of absolves him of it.
absolves him. That is the exact word I was trying to look for. But in a way, I don't really want Mbenga to be absolved of this, because literally, like, right before, it was like, I would do it again. So, I mean, I don't think Mbenga is a monster, and I don't like the idea of him being like just a murderer of Klingons. But also,
And he doesn't kill Befra.
He
No.
doesn't kill Bethra. Yeah.
But I think
I'm
that
just
is
like-
that is growth in a way. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he could
Yeah,
have
but
just
then he's
fucking
like-
slit her throat.
But then he's like, but I do it again. I'm like, whoa, what are you doing, man? Like, what is it?
No, I
Which
mean,
one
I don't
is
know.
it?
I'll talk about it. I get it, but
Yeah. But I liked that it wasn't an event that was forgotten. But I don't know. Like I have said previously, this episode was very packed. And I think that several of these things could have been separated from each other and expanded on a little bit more. And for example, like Giraffe thinks about agriculture, and I think about Klingon politics, where it's like, I don't know if killing Mbenga would actually work because he was her father was disaccommodated before he was killed. So how would that actually work to restore her honor? So
It's a hope and a dream, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think she
It's a hope
doesn't know. She's like
doesn't know.
trying to, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I love that because I everyone knows I'm a big fan of Under the Cloak of War. I really like where they take this, and the way I see this, I know everybody's like, well, I don't really like the idea of someone just murdering someone. Well, I do to a point. If you think about this, okay, I'm not gonna call Doc Ra Hitler. He's not, but you could look at Doc Ra as one of Hitler's many generals who probably killed a shit ton of Jews. Okay. And in this instance, Doc Ra was someone who probably killed thousands of innocent people and Starfleet officers, you name it. He was a horrible human being and a war criminal. I don't know personally if a fucking like Nazi or a Nazi general was in the same room with me, if I wouldn't fucking kill him and if I would regret it. I probably wouldn't. So like, I get Mbenga's stand saying, yeah, I killed a war criminal. I had the opportunity. He also, I'll always say, Doc Ra put his fucking hands on Mbenga, which he never needed to do. I think like being in the room with someone who also like this is, I hate to bring up the Nazi, like comparing to the Nazis, but it kind of is because Nazis fled Germany and tried to like work for other governments afterwards, and this is what Doc Ra does.
Project Paperclip kind
I
of
was gonna say like the whole NASA was funded on like Project Paperclip, basically.
But like, but like the Starfleet still let someone as evil as Doc Ra in, and like
the US did too.
No, trust me, I know. So I get, like, honestly, I get Mbenga killing him and not feeling bad about killing him. And no, I don't think it makes him a bad man. Like Pike says, and I'm going to skip this last question since we're talking about it now. Anyway, you're not a monster, Joseph, just a man and my friend. Like, is killing horrible? Yes. But like, are people that kill people in war instantly horrible human beings? Like, no, I don't think so. And at the end of the day, yeah, Joseph murdered someone, but he murdered someone who killed thousands and thousands of people. So I really like the resolution to this quite a bit.
I think for me, it's more like a question of like, I think that there's a lot of victim of that guy, and so he should have been trialed for like everybody to get closure.
Absolutely, that's
and
also
not
fair.
Just be like murdered off. Also, it's also clear that he was actually like in redemption and was like helping the Federation, and I'm like, I think it would be interesting to just know, like, to like, you just get killed, and you're like, well, okay, and so what? And also, the Cloak of War doesn't say it. Like, it leaves you in the idea of like, was it self-defense? Was it murder? Like, you don't know until that episode. But I just think that the fact that he doesn't kill Bethra, but still says, I would do it again, I'm like,
but Bethra's done no harm to him. She's just
dirty nose off. You don't think she was in the war? You don't
I mean, I'm sure, but
a bunch of people?
I mean, a lot of people were in the war. This is someone who was like a warlord and like did it for sport and fun. Klingon warriors, just like Starfleet soldiers,
the question is like, why did he turn to the Federation? Like, what happened?
Because he was a coward. They established that in Under the Cloak of War. He was a coward.
I watched it once.
Fair. Let's finally, there's a lot to talk about with just the A plot. Go down to the B plot, which is Ortega's heavy, which is really nice. Change of pace. On the Enterprise, La'an picks up irregular EM forces. Ortegas asks for a rescan, and they pick up a Klingon battlecruiser. We get Klingon war facts from Erica, which I thought was really fun. She makes her voice known to Una about wanting to do something about finding them. Erica doesn't want to just sit tight. What did we think about seeing this side of her, Giraffe?
That was my favorite plot of the episode. I could have done a whole episode about this.
Absolutely.
Like, the zombie looked cool, but I didn't really care about any of that plot. I loved that. First of all, a whole bridge full of women.
Yes.
Let's
Yes.
go. I was here
Wait,
for it. I
wait.
was like,
Can you just repeat what you texted me about that? Because I thought it was great.
Oh, I was like, it always cracks me up that in the cage, Pike says like a woman on the bridge. And it's always like people are retcon it onto like, oh, only one woman on the bridge
Yeah.
because literally has so many women on the bridge right now. But I loved Una in command. I thought it was cool. We've been complaining that Una got nothing to do in season 2. Why do you have Rebecca Romaine on your cast and just have her do nothing? Like, she's a great actress. She's so good, and she's so good in those commanding like roles. Also, like I want to follow her the other side of the galaxy. Yes, ma'am. So I like that. I like that they're touching on the PTSD, on Erica snapping, because we've seen in the Quality of Mercy. She plays the role of the bigot in the episode, which everybody was kind of like weirded out about it, and I think they're really fleshing out that hurt side. And it also talks to how Starfleet needs to take care of their people way more, because you have literally Mbenga stabbing people, you have Erika snapping at her commanding officers, you have Chappelle, who didn't know what to do when she was confronted with like a Klingon. Like, these people are not well. Like, somebody needs to address it. And I know they're linking that to the Gorn a little bit more, but I loved how Una handles the whole plot. I think it was a great episode for Una. I know we'll try to talk more about like the precision, but I think it was acted to perfection. From Uhura, like the worried eyes that she has, like worried look that she has at the meeting, and then the hurt ones, like everybody's just like, there's a lot going on in just the eyes of everybody around this table. And I thought it was a great plot that should have been the A plot, but
Yeah, I could
it's
see
fine.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. MC, how about you?
Oh, I absolutely adored this plot. I will always take more Ortegas, and this does work so well with everything we know about Ortegas up until now. She has issues because of the Klingon War, and she has issues because of the, can we call it a Gorn War? Is it a Gorn skirmish or whatever it is?
I like
You're in a
Gord's
happenstance.
happenstance or skirmish. I liked skirmish.
A situation ship. Gorn situation ship.
Gorn situationship. I like that. But she obviously has PTSD. And of course, Starfleet doesn't have any proper therapists, because they say she passed her psych eval. And it's like, no, did you really pass it? But I also like that this, even outside of her trauma, this kind of fits with her character, because she is very much in like this pilot flyboy type of archetype. And somebody who is going to do that is going to be a little more impulsive and wanting to push things. And so I like that. But then at the same time, this plot is more than just, I'm Erica Ortegas and I fly the
Yes.
ship. She actually shows some tactical, ideas that, work out really well. And, she's fighting with Una. And I think this episode, more than any, has made her more well-rounded.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think that Ortegas is entering her Tom Paris era right now.
Love it.
A lot. Yeah, it was, but before she really started mouthing off, just the fact that like, this is a ship minus a few people who transferred on, sat out the Klingon War, and Ortegas has a lot of knowledge about how the Klingons operate. And for her to give that feedback at the beginning and have it be constructive enough to be able to spot the Klingon ship, I thought it was a great moment. I like it, the initial set there that Una's relying on her because of that. Like Giraffe said, dude, I am all for more Ortegas, but I am all for more Una. Please just keep giving me Una in command, Una leading away missions. Rebecca remains such a great actor, and getting to see her have this moment, and I agree, I think this maybe should have been the A plot, was simply awesome. I want to talk more about that. I feel like this episode does a great job giving us that Una in command episode and having someone like Ortegas be a really good foil for her. You know, whether it's during the scene in the ready room like you talked about, where she says, you know, Ortega says that won't work for me. When given the 4-hour time frame to rescue Pike and Mbenga, and then, you know, giving her really batshit crazy alternative warp plan. Everybody's like, are you serious right now? What do we think about the back and forth between these two? And then seeing a side of Erica, like you mentioned, Draft, that we haven't seen since Quality of Mercy.
Well, I like the fact that you know these meetings, people can like throw IDs in the middle.
Yeah.
Like we've seen it in TNG all the time. Like Jordy's always like throwing some crazy ID in the middle. Like they will listen to your ID, right? And that's what Lon says also. Like it's not the problem of the ID that was batshit crazy. It's that the way she's doing it that makes me made me uncomfortable right away, because we've all been this. I'm a woman in leadership. I've been in those meetings where you're like, you know, have to be the voice of reason, and somebody is kind of like being directly rude at you, and you're like, that's not gonna fly. But I also need to keep my hand on that meeting and on the conversation. And I felt that Una, like her work, like it was very well written, it was very well acted. But also, Melissa Navia is so good at having these like moments where you're like, oh wait, that's just slightly over the line.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not insane that they're gonna throw you in the bridge. It's not insubordination right away that you're gonna be called out during the meeting, but it's enough to be like everybody exchanges side eyes. And I thought it was really, really good. Also, I want to say that, you know, as French, there's been a lot of like brainwashing of people during the war, like hating the Germans, for example. Like during World War I, like kids were literally like brainwashed into hating the Germans. And I wonder how much brainwashing there's been also. The officers on Starfleet were here to do exploration and science, and suddenly we're thrown into an absolute bloodbath on like, no, you need to hate them.
Right.
You need to hate them. Like you cannot consider them as sentient beings. Like you need to always kill them. You need to do everything you can to like enter aggressions with them so you can shoot them. And I wonder how much deprogrammation there's been in the end, because I don't think there's been any. Because you know that they most probably had to do that. So this whole fleet of scientists just ended up going and, you know,
being soldiers and under the cloak of war, like wanting to go and fight voluntarily. Like,
exactly. Where you're like, okay, there's most probably been a lot of programming going
doubt.
on. So I see Ortegas as a victim of all that. And it's kind of sad because that explains also why she's so attached to I fly the ship. Because that's also most probably has been programmed into her that this is what you need to do. This is what you do. This is what you do now, you know? And I think everybody should be way more worried than they are, by the way.
It's funny because I've been waiting for like, you know, you like to think about like the science and stuff, and MC likes to think about, I totally forgot what you said you like thinking about.
I like to think about everything.
Everything. I love studying like war and like the aspects of all of this. So those are freaking amazing points you just made, Draft. Yeah. MC, you're up.
I think that seeing Una in command, I mean, we didn't get a lot of Una last season, so I love getting this. I really like her dressing Scotty down, or not dressing Scotty down, but basically getting mad at Pelia at Scotty.
Which is a little like, oh, come on.
I felt so bad for Scotty. I am becoming so fond of him.
They can't pay her.
Exactly. It was a great excuse to cost cutting for Carol Kane. And they're doing a really good job of making me like Scotty by having him be like this little puppy in this situation. It's very adorable. Martin Quinn is cute. But this whole scene with Ortegas, oh, wow. It kind of reminded me of the West Wing episode Noelle when Josh is got PTSD and he ends up yelling at the president.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah, it totally has that kind of vibe because Erica's not wrong. And Una even acknowledges that it's like, I need alternate ideas. It's just the way that Erica is going about it, just being very aggressive with it. It's uncomfortable. And people are just, she brings up an idea and other people are rightfully questioning it because they don't know how this is going to work because this is something that's never been done before. And Erica is just saying, it's like, no, I can make it work. I can make it work. And all these people want to know is, well, how can you make it work? We can't just trust that you can fly. We need to come up with actual plans. And she gets mad at Uhura because of it. Like,
I wanted to cut a bitch.
Ah,
I was like,
yeah.
Ortegas sees it as like a huge betrayal of their friendship. And it's like, no, like Uhura was just pointing out like logic. It's not, nobody's attacking you. And that's the thing. Erica is in permanent attack mode right now. She thinks everybody is attacking her.
Everybody's
and
a
that's
threat.
What makes,
yeah.
Everybody's a threat. That's what makes it so uncomfortable.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely a great scene. I want to keep going on this because, you know, as this mission is you know going on, they have to slow down because the Klingons are right up their ass, and Erica looks like she's falling. It's great how they filmed it, seeing that little bit of like a slight touch of her finger, like raising the impulse drive. And yeah, you know, despite not wanting to be spotted by the Klingons, she disobeys that order, increases speed, leading the Klingons to spot them. But that's what Erica wanted to happen because Erica wanted to do her warp plan. And she gets to, which, whether it's fucked up that she disobeyed orders or not, was a really good excuse to make a badass VFX shot. They did a great job this week. Erica also mouths off to Una again, a lot more intense, where she's like, finish your thought. And you thought that was a good idea to, like, while we're basically almost about to be in combat? Like, come on. At the end of the episode, once everything's been resolved, Una reprimands Erica. Was Una right? I feel like we all know the answer is yes. Was Una right here to do that? And how much of this, as we've talked about, has to do with that Klingon War PTSD and the Gorn PTSD on top of that, Giraffe?
Well, I mean, there's PTSD all you want. There's also respecting the people
100%.
that are your superior, especially in a moment like this. Like, Una was not, you know, like, Una was not proposing a plan that was insane or dangerous. Like, you know, it's not like, oh, I was just following orders. Like, no, like, sometimes you see people in Star Trek not respecting orders because there is a very good reason. And here there was none. And also, I like that the story and the plot gives Una right that they could have escaped and they were fine. It was not like, see, without Erica, then they would have died. So I like that. I also liked how Una, like, handled it not on, how can I say that? Like, she didn't center it around her. Because the fact is that Erica does not respect Una. Ortegas does not respect Una's leadership, because if she did, then she would not have done that. Even with the PTSD, even with everything, she doesn't trust her. She thinks that the plan is stupid, and very often you think that the plan is stupid, right? But there's also a trust that goes into the person that is in charge, because you're like, they know better, they have more experience than I do, or maybe not, but you know. And I felt that Una did not address that at all with her. She just took her out of shift and told her, like, you know what's going to happen next time, right? And that I really like, because I've been in this situation. And the problem is that there's always another time. There's always another time. And I think that, like, the conversation was very well written. Una was very stern, but also very affectionate. in order to not trigger the person even more. But it's so ultimately insanely fucked up what Erica did here. What Ortegas does here is so absolutely horrible. And the thing is that we've been coaxed into liking officer not respecting the rules in Star Trek, right? Like you see Mariner doing it all the time. And I feel new Star Trek. See, I'm saying that now, and now I have a whole train of thought going on. But I feel like TV in general right now has been telling us that not respecting order is bad, and then proving us that not respecting orders is bad with like proving us through stories like, see, Erica was wrong to not respect orders. I don't know what it means about TV in general, but it doesn't mean something that I really like, I think. It's true. Like, you know, like a lot of TV has shift on these storylines of like the little guy that, you know, the guy against the going against the odd. Like it's not something that we have anymore. Like the hero is strong, the hero is big, the hero is right, you know? And so I like that storyline. Let me say that. I love how Una told that, but I think in general in TV right now, always be careful of the big meaning of TV right now. And I think that Star Trek telling you not respecting order is wrong is kind of a new thing for Star Trek, because literally Janeway never respects order and she's always right. So I think it's an interesting plot line. I'm just a bit, you know, worried about the world in general right now. It's nothing to do necessarily with Star Trek.
Fair. MC, before you go, I just want to say, how amazing is it right now that we're actually having a discussion about Erica Ortegas, not just flying the ship. I just want to get that out there. Like, we have a whole
really
fucking
nice,
amazing plot point. Thank you for doing that.
Very
writers.
negative plot points.
Negative, but amazing plot point. Like, very well done. MC, go ahead.
Considering that this is the B plot, I am surprised at how nuanced this plot is, which is probably why it's actually my favorite plot, because you don't get many scenes of it, but there is so much going on, and not in the, oh, it feels like they're throwing a bunch of things at the wall. This is one single plot that just has a lot of stuff going on in it. And in particular, as Giraffe did point out, I like that Erica's plan works.
Yeah.
But it wasn't necessary. And that is something that would not happen in a lot of shows. Like, if they wanted Erica to be in the wrong, usually they would have the plan not work. And I think that that's why it's nuanced, that it works, but it wasn't necessary. And so the fact that Erica forced Una's hand was unnecessary, and it was disrespectful to the chain of command. I don't think Una was entirely right, though, because I don't think she should have just taken Erica off crew rotation. I think that Una should have said, you came back too soon. You have to go back under Psych Eval.
Okay, so I will say, I obviously sometimes it's nice if the show says these things to us. I have to assume that is part of her 2 weeks, is like, dude, get yourself checked out. No, I mean, listen, I thought this was really well done. I love Rebecca Romaine. That's what I wanted to say. I love the fact that also, if it's any other pilot, maybe Una doesn't realize, or, you know, that like it would have just gotten looked over. But Una is like specifically mentions, you're Erica Ortegas. You don't make those kind of minor mistakes, right? Like the fact that it really could have just been like someone accidentally fucking up, but not from you. So I thought that was a very important line to say. Rebecca Romaine killed it in this episode.
And she also, like, I was surprised that she says at one point, like, oh, and it's the Enterprise, and it's the best of the Starfleet officers. Like, where is that going? And I'm like, oh, that's why.
Yeah. Yeah.
We just needed like a recentered at the beginning to make sure that Erica Ortegas was the best of the Starfleet officers.
Let's finally move on to the C plot, which is Batel, which kind of goes along with the A plot, right? She's going through a lot of pain in this episode. So Spock offers a mind meld to help ease that pain. It works, but the pain transfers over to Spock, causing both to scream very loudly and see visions of something and then Spock strikes the new nurse. What, we get a kind of TOS style slap from Chapel to Spock. While Spock does ease the pain, they don't know what they saw. What are your thoughts on what this may be?
So first of all, can we reestablish that it's very TOS that Spock just mind meld with whatever, whenever,
yeah.
However, his hips don't ever lie. But yeah, sure, he mind melded with a Gord. Why not? He mind melded with a door in TOS with a Horta. Like
He mind melds with fucking V'ger.
everything.
Everything.
Oh my god.
It's a mind meld slut.
He is.
Just a
It
slut
truly
in general,
is.
but
Yeah, that is true too. But I like when they're like, I don't know what I saw. Like, how don't you know what you saw? It's pretty freaking obvious that you mind melded with the Gorn, and because you see like the little Gorn like on the side.
I don't know if it's a Gorn that we see.
Oh, they were
Gorn.
absolutely Gorn hatchlings.
Yeah, I-
1000%
You think
Gorn.
so?
Yeah.
All right, I have
I
to go
know
back and look.
so.
They look different to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
They're the
Okay.
baby Gorn. You know the Gorns that
Yeah,
you saw,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
in,
yeah.
like when I like.
Yeah, I'll have to
So
watch
they're
it
the baby
again.
Gorn,
Okay.
and after they have like that like predator like vision
Yeah.
of like, and I'm
That
like,
was funny.
Oh my
That was really
God.
funny.
That was really funny. I know it was supposed to be scary, but I was just laughing my
wasn't,
ass off. I was
no.
like, this is so dumb. So, but I like that it makes it very clear that the Gorn that are in her are not only cells, it's a full-blown individual. It's
Mm.
a person. Because he mind melded with Batel, but ended up mind melding with the Gorn and seeing the pain of the Gorn, pain of like the trying to get out, right? And also we know that the baby Gorn are like so angry, like in Memento Mori, they established that they're like fighting for dominance, that they're very, very aggressive, and that explains.
Oh, and
also
all
why
those who
Spock, like-
wander, yeah.
yeah, all those who wander. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Like he pushes it's the ensign, right? It's ensign.
And the new nurse, Ensign, I forget his name.
Ensign Gambrel,
Yeah,
I think.
Gambrel, yeah.
Love him. Must be protected.
He's adorable.
He's
I love him.
adorable. I love him so much. They robbed us from the ensign transporter ensign that we never saw again.
Yep.
So
Oh,
I hope
They've robbed
that
us of
medical-
two transporter ensigns now because Scotty's at his old TOS role of operating the transporter now.
Yeah, so now I hope medical ensign is okay. But I think it just makes it clear that, well, the Gorn is alive in her. And it's not just a bunch of cells. It's it's individuals, most probably plural, but also able to mind meld, which means that if the Chimera with like the Gorn, if they mix us with the Gorn, this is not just cells. So what is going to happen? So I like that it emptied the odds, it emptied
Yeah.
the plot with like, oh, it's just not gonna be mixing some loose DNA here and there. It's going to be mixing her with the personality of a Gorn, which is insane.
Yeah. Nice. MC?
I loved the scene. I loved that
Of course
Spock,
you did.
I love that Spock had an episode that had absolutely no romantic subplot in it at all. Like he interacted with Chapel like a professional, even if she did have to slap him, but that was like a totally professional slap. And I
That
love
was such
that.
a good slap.
It was a great
was an
slap. It was a
amazing
really
slap.
good slap.
And this was such a TOS Spock move where it's just like, something's wrong. I'm going to mind melt with it. It's perfect. I know Spock didn't have a lot to do, but it's just.
Thank God,
wow.
though.
Yeah, no, I mean, this was just like the perfect use of Spock. So we didn't need any more in this episode. That's all we need. And sometimes we just need somebody to do a wacky mind meld.
Yeah. I just loved how absolutely TOS this scene was. It just like
Very much.
was right out of TOS. It was wonderful.
In what episode does she slaps him over and over again?
It's the
and-
one with Mbenga.
It is, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah. I love that.
I forget
love-
the name of the episode, but that's the
Yeah.
one.
And
Yeah.
then he's like, "Thank you, no Sheppel."
Yeah, exactly. We're at our last talking point here. What do we think about this last scene with Pike and Batel fighting. They're fine at the end, right? Because they're both just fucking scared. Once again, Batel though really sticking up for herself, like against Pike, who is really a clingy boyfriend. Making a decision without him. Because at the end of the day, she doesn't ever require his approval. Like, she's a fucking Starfleet captain too, and an individual. Her argument's super valid here. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like the fact that Pike is going at her about this, but I understand he's scared, blah blah blah. But he's also a starship captain. Should have more, endurance for like bad feeling and being scared and stuff like this. I don't know. I'm just like, you're being very emotional right now, my man, for something that I understand is important, but also you've gone through way worse.
And he knows he's gonna go through way worse.
Yeah, I'm like, just like put up your big boy pants. It's gonna be fine. I like that Batel has to like stands for herself. I don't like that she has to.
Yeah.
Because can we center that woman is sick? That woman is in pain. That woman is under a lot of medication. That woman is scared for her life because she knows that all this is going to happen. And she has to deal with the boyfriend because, on the list of shit that you have to do as a woman, when you're sick, you also have to deal with your partner, for sure. Like, let me help you having your emotions right now. Man, no, I would not even have talked about that being like, no. No way. You know me. I was like, I'm not gonna spend 10 minutes, 20 minutes of my maybe last day on Earth arguing with you because you have feelings right now. I'm like, shut the fuck up. No. So I did not like that because it's I mean, as a woman, it's a recurring problem that you have, like having to handle the emotions of everybody around you when you're sick, you're scared, you're going through things. But you're the dedicated emotional handler of everyone somehow by society standards. So I didn't like that she had to go through that. Kind of triggering for me. But I like that she stands her own, and I like that, she takes no bullshit. She's also fucking insane.
Yeah, she is. Yeah. Yep.
Like, I mean,
she's a Starfleet captain.
You have to be a little insane.
Yeah. I mean, I understand you want to leave, and I truly understand that. But do you want to become Gorn? Because like the mind meld should have like hinted towards that. I don't know.
Well, I guess we're gonna find out. MC.
Okay, so Anson Mount and Melanie Scrofano did excellent in this scene. I just totally believed that they were in love, and that they were angry, and that they were worried. There was just so many emotions, and it all worked very well. Now I am going to actually get incredibly serious. We've made a lot of jokes about dead wife energy, but the thing is, especially starting in this episode, like I did get hints of it in the other episodes so far this season, but so far Strange New Worlds is really, really accurately portraying somebody with a terminal diagnosis. You have the first episode where they're in surgery and there's life-saving trying to be done. It's like they're trying to remove a cancerous tumor. And then these next episodes are, well, now we have to manage it because we got a lot of it. We didn't get all of it. And we're trying to do all of these experimental techniques. And you can, in that kind of situation, you can have days where people are good and days when people are bad. And that's what they're portraying with Marie. And then you also have Pike as her partner being somebody who is desperate to do something, anything, but then also not really respecting the boundaries of, this is my decision to make from the medical perspective because trying to be protective and everything. And all of this stuff going on is the reason why I'm absolutely sure 1000% that Batel is not going to survive the season. And I'm actually starting to tear up a little bit. it's very triggering to me because I did go through all, like, this is like beat for beat what I went through with my mom. And, you know, it's actually like when this episode airs, it's 2 days before the anniversary of my mom's death.
Wow.
So it's like all of this is going on at a very delicate time for me. So I'm like, oh, fuck you, Strange New Worlds, for doing this to me. But yeah, so just to make a long story short, we do make the dead wife energy jokes, but the way they're doing it, and I will actually give kudos to the writers for portraying it so viscerally, so accurately, because this is what they want to do. I'm mad that they're killing off Marie because I don't think that they need to do it. But if they are going to do this storyline, the fact that they are actually giving it an honest portrayal is nice for anybody who's not me.
I just have to say, I'm really glad, because I know that's really a tough subject for you and hard for you, but I'm so happy that you brought it up, because it just made me look at that scene in a whole new way too. Because obviously I've had cancer. I'm not going through that now, but I don't know how much people know. I've kind of not like gone fully public with it with the collective or with our listeners. I've kind of had my life turned upside down recently. I was diagnosed with diabetes. I have a pretty bad cholesterol issue, and I found all of this out in a very short amount of time, and I had to completely turn my life upside down. And you guys know there were a couple times in the Discord where I was just like, sorry, just got over like bawling. And a scene just like this with Pike and Marie, starting it with a fight, right? Karen and I had something very similar when this all started with me recently, where she said something, it was probably really stupid and like didn't need to have a fight over, but like I just started like yelling at her about it. And then she started yelling at me, and we were at the top of each other's lungs. And then all of a sudden I just broke down and I sat on the floor and I was scared, and she came and she sat with me. So I didn't even think about that with the scene until you brought that up. And that's such a crazy way to look at it, because it is done really accurately, MC. So yeah, thank you for bringing that up and making me think about that, because literally went through that recently. It's crazy. The one thing I really want to point out with the scene that I think is a really nice touch with the writers is that Marie has her uniform back on. Okay, she's not in her civvies. She's fully expecting to go captain a starship. And whether it's, a bit of denial or not, she wants to go and be a starship captain again. And if putting that uniform on right now makes her think that that's going to happen, it's such a nice little subtle touch. I really like that they did that.
Or she knows she's not going to survive.
Well, right, exactly. That's why it's like denial,
Yeah.
right? But she puts it
Yeah.
on to be like, I could do this, even though she probably doesn't think that she really can. It's a really nice touch. Yeah. Final thoughts. We'll go in reverse order. MC.
I thought it was a decent episode. I do think that it was a bit overstuffed, and I would have liked to have seen some room for a lot of these plots to actually like move around. But all in all, like, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I like the B plot a lot because of the character growth and exploration, which is something I want to see. Yeah, it's a good episode for the B plot. I love what it entails for the next episode. That makes me want to watch the next episode, being like, what's going to happen with Ortegas? What is going to be happening with Una? How are they going to solve this? Where it is going to go? And Batel also. The zombies, they look cool.
Fair.
Like, they have a lot of money. They're doing good things with the money. It's fine. Like,
That's great. Yeah. Listen, I love this episode. This is, I think MC is absolutely right calling it overstuffed, but sometimes I like an overstuffed episode. And this was just the right amount of the Goldilocks zone of overstuff for me. This is out of the 5 that we've seen. This is my favorite of the 5. I absolutely adore this episode. I would watch it over and over. So yeah, well done, Strange New Worlds this week. That is going to do it if you were watching us on YouTube. I want to say thank you so much for watching us tonight. If you want to hear the T'Pol and Mailbag, make sure you listen to our audio version that comes out Friday morning. I'll be at Comic-Con, but maybe Giraffe and I, we're going to record the mailbags that you put in, and I'm going to throw it into the audio version. So be prepared for that if you're going to listen in audio. Also, if you're live listening to us right now and you're still awake, you're part of the night crew on the Discord. MC is going to be hosting our watch along of Shuttle to Kenfori a few minutes after this wraps. So enjoy that. We will see you back live next week with our review of A Space Adventure Hour. Can't wait to talk about that one. So for MC, for Giraffe, I am Julian. We'll say live long and prosper. Mazram, sarcastic Vulcan salute, and I'll leave it to our good friend Ahura here to say,
You fly safe out there.
Thanks for beaming into our podcast today. If you want to keep the hailing frequencies open, you can subscribe on Apple and Google Podcasts, YouTube, and Spotify. Like what you hear? Put in a good word with Starfleet and leave us a 5-star review.